What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, the UFC 317 predictions taking place this weekend. Actually a pretty good card. I'm looking forward to it. I do believe that card is going to be fun in execution, because something tells me, and this is a kind of a pattern I've noticed, and it isn't necessarily the same. Like, often if you do deliver a stacked lineup of names, it's usually pretty good. But a lot of the times you get these pay-per-views where it's like some stacked lineup and everyone's so excited, and it's name value wise it's stacked, but a lot of the fights end up being mid. I don't think that's going to be the case here. Now, cut to a main card of all decisions probably, but I do view this card as something that's got the potential to be very fun. And I also view like four or five of these fights, I say four, as fights that could produce like one of the best fights of the year. Like, my prediction, I said this on the stream yesterday, or 2 days ago when I was streaming for the UFC Baku card. I believe that we will see a top 5 fight of the year entry from this card. And I can also see a lot of good finishes happening as well. So I'm looking forward to the card. Without Costa Kopilov, it took a hit, but it's still a pretty solid lineup. I still think the main card is all interesting matchups, and that's the main thing we can ask for. Is just a main card where you don't get some bullshit like a fucking Natalia Silva feature fight or some shit like that, or you don't get some shit like 313 where there was fucking Amanda Lemos versus that bit Yasmin Lucindo on the main card. Like, that's all we can ask for, and they delivered that. So Topuria versus Oliveira. You got Pantoja versus Kaikara France. Let me tell you about this kid, Joshua Van. He's fighting Brandon Royval. You got Renato Moicano. You got Benil Darush. You got Peyton Talbot. He's fighting in Pride Month. That kid's badass. You got Felipe Lima. You got Jose Delgado. Hermansson. Robocop. You got Terrence McKinney. You got Jacoby Smith. You can't even do the rest of nobody's thing from Flight. Like, you just have to. I mean, the only nobodies on this card I would say is Jackson McVeigh and Alvin Hines. I would consider the nobodies of the card, and I guess Viviane Araujo as well. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get into the picks, and we will be sweeping this card as well, going 12-0. Anyway, let's get started. So I don't really know how much of a breakdown this thing needs. The odds should tell you all you need to know. Jacoby Smith is gonna fucking murder Nico Price in the cage. Like, we might see a death. Like, Nico Price is going to probably be unconscious on the canvas for like 3 minutes. And we're going to be like wondering if he's dead. Now, is Jacoby Smith some like generational power puncher? No. But he cracks, and Nico Price is old and has no chin. Like, I'm going to just pull up Nico Price. Like, again, this is no breakdown. I'm not going to be fucking doing any stylistic matchup, in-depth analysis of this one. This man is 16-8, and he's been KO'd 5 out of those 8 times. Obviously lost to Themba Gorimbo, which has aged worse and worse by the day. He won a decision over Alex Morono in quite literally the most geriatric fight I've ever seen in my life. Got KO'd by Robbie Lawler, got TKO'd by Philip Rowe. He beat Alex Oliveira. He got finished by Luke Hay, he got finished by Jeff Neal. He got slept in 43 seconds by Abdul Razak Al Hassan. So, yeah, I just am going to use my brain and think that the guy with 8 out of his 10 victories coming by way of round 1 KO are probably going to do pretty well here. This man finished Preston Parsons in like a minute flat. Preston Parsons is actually not bad. Even the guy he fought on Contender Series, Christian Savoy, was a decent opponent, 10-2 guy, obviously. So, like, he's not fighting complete scrubs. Now, and he's fighting on Fury FC. Like, Fury FC is actually a good promotion. Okay, now, the guy before that was 8-8. So my point might not stand. But Fury FC is not like just this canned bullshit. Like, you see some, like, jungle fight or some shit or some okay, yeah. I'm proving myself wrong because he's fighting a bunch of 37-year-olds with 12-12 records. But the Contender Series guy was good, and he finished him in the second round easily, and then he finished Preston Parsons. So yeah, in case you didn't know, Jacoby Smith's gonna get a murder charge this weekend. Let's move on though to the over/under might be set at like 1.5 minutes. And I'm probably taking the under. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Next up, we got Janata Diniz versus Alvin Hines. The kid's name is. Yeah, so I'm not picking fucking Alvin Hines. This dude's literally my uncle. Guys, I don't really I don't share much information, about myself, about my family or anything. But Just wanted to let you know my uncle's actually fighting this weekend. He's fighting Denise. Bro, this dude looks 40. He looks like a 40-year-old that's running the cookout at the fucking barbecue, dude. Like, he looks like he's cooking steaks at the barbecue. I don't know what Alvin Hines is doing. I checked his record, and his record is legitimately about as can-fed as you can get. So he is 7-0. There might be some people who will be like, oh, 7-0, undefeated. No, undefeated means fuck all when you're fighting in some random bum-ass promotion, fighting literal plumbers. And it's heavyweight as well, so it's like, you can't even be like, oh, this dude has talent. It's just like, it's 3 KO, 3 submissions, and then 1 decision. The one guy that you want to... Also, another thing about this guy's career, he made his pro debut in January 2023. So in about 2.5 years, he's had like 7 fights. Now that's not crazy activity, but he's picked it up recently. So that doesn't really give you an idea, because that was January 23. His next fight was January 2024. So he's had 6 fights in about a year and a half. From January 24 to April 25, he's had 6 fights. To me, that's not even a good thing. Also, another fun fact: you want to know the second most recent guy on his record? One of his submission wins. It's over a guy by the name of Ronnie Coleman. This dude beat Ronnie Coleman. I know it's not the actual Ronnie Coleman, but this dude beat a kid by the name of Ronnie Coleman by arm triangle in the first round. Ronnie Coleman's record stands at an outstanding 2-1. And he doesn't have a profile picture. And his most recent winner was a round 1 head kick KO against a 4-2 opponent who's obese. So I'm not going to be picking this dude. Again, I'll check his previous one before that. LFA 2. LFA is not a terrible promotion. LFA 3-6 guy over Mark Courier, nicknamed the Wolf. So I'm not picking this fucking guy to win. Denise is going to sleep him out cold. Denise isn't good, but you know, if you're not marching Tybura, best believe you ain't beating this kid. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Next up, Jackson McVee versus Cedricus Dumas. This is just a random ass fight. Neither of these two were on the card. It's just because they had to take Costa Kopilov off. So they're like, alright, we can't run an 11 fight card. Like, it's somewhat acceptable if you end up with like 11 fights. Because if you get cancelled, like for fuck's sake, a few weeks ago we ended up with 9 fights. After like 2 fights got scrapped at weigh-ins and then a fight. Or like, a fight got scrapped on fight week. A fight got scrapped at weigh-ins, and then a fight got scrapped, like the main event got scrapped as they were walking out. So, sometimes you're going to lose a fight, and I would hazard a guess there's a chance we lose one here. Who knows, just the way this shit's going. But you can't really roll into fight week with only 11 fights. That's kind of less difficult, because that's like, oh, you lose 1, you're down to 10. You lose 2, you're down to 9 fights on a fucking international fight week card. Like, you got to give yourself some wiggle room. So, that's why they got 12 fights on this card. They just ran... Again, I think they just got Cedricus Dumas and they're like, yo, you're definitely like in cut territory. Like, you should be cut by now, but we need another fight on this card, and there's no one else who's going to just take a random fucking LFA guy on short notice. So I'm guessing Jackson McVee's going to win. I'm just going to not pick Cedricus Dumas. Like, one, I don't like him as a person. I think he's a scumbag. Dude's a coward as well. Like, he's like just a middleweight Jones in terms of his personal life, of just constantly fucking up, constantly committing crimes, constantly being a fucking scumbag. Not even like a cool criminal. Like, okay, this is gonna sound bad. I know he's a scumbag, but like, at least Lee Murray like actually did some fucking like badass shit. Like, yes, he probably also raped some people and was a scumbag, but also like, dude committed massive fucking bank robbery. Like, I can respect that. Dumas is breaking and entering random houses and then hiding in dog kennels when the police come. Like, kid's a coward, doesn't even have the balls to commit proper crimes. If you're gonna go out and be a fucking criminal and be about that life, go fucking kill someone. Like, I'm not encouraging violence, but if you're about that life, if you're part of that gang culture or some shit, don't be a little bitch and hide in a fucking dog kennel when the police come and try and arrest you. And why is he not in jail? Like, this dude's commit like 24 fucking felonies. And he's just, I guess, again, that culture, you just can let him off with a bunch of warnings, I guess. So we'll see. Anyway, no tape study on McVee. Haven't watched this guy fight at all. I'm just going to assume he's decent. He's undefeated, I think. Am I bugging? Let me double check. Is this kid undefeated? Because if he is, at least I think he is. He's like 6-0, I'm pretty sure. That means he's doing something right, at least, compared to fucking Cedricus Dumas, who just is a victim. He curls up when he takes damage. He curls up in all facets of life. He just has no heart and no grit and no toughness. So, Dumas, 10-3, 2 of those losses, all 3 are losses by finish. finished by Macau in a round, finished by Nasultan in a round, subbed by Fremd. His wins are Cody Brundage, Abu Azaitar, and Dennis Talulian. Fucking abysmal wins. Jackson McVee's 6-0. I don't think he's that good. He kind of looks like one of those Julius Walker types who's just going to come in and look goofy. So this is not some lock of the card. This is not like a let me tell about this kid Jackson McVee. Kid's a fucking savage. But he's got all of his 6 of his wins by finish. He's 26, so I'll believe in the upside at least. This isn't like Alvin Hines who's coming in at 33 years of age. Let's check. If his last win is over a decent level opponent, I might feel okay. He finished his last fight in a minute and a half by TKO. What was the record of his opponent? This is going to give me confidence or not confidence. Because if he's fighting a bunch of 0-6 people, I'm not going to feel great about this. Again, it's LFA, so not the worst promotion. 4-2 is not awful. For a 6-0 guy, 4-2 is defensible. Before that, it was 3-3. Alright, Arsenal, great. Before that, it was a easy submission win over a guy named Jacques Williams. That kid has a record of 7-16. So now, I'm not doing myself any favours here with my confidence levels, but I'm just gonna do this thing called picking against a man who got arrested and was hiding from the police, curled up in a dog kennel. That's the logic I'm gonna have picking this fight. Anyway, let's move on. Terence McKinney, Vyacheslav Borshev. This is kind of like the do you think Borshev is shit enough to get finished in the first, otherwise he wins? And to me, I look at Borshev and I'm like, nah, that's probably... sorry, I'm just back on Sherdog. This guy that Jackson McVee just beat, it's his... kid's riding a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have to count this shit. 7, 8, 9. Kid's on a 10-fight loss streak. Trust me, he's going to bounce back, though. It's just a rough patch in his career. Sorry, I know. Let me go back to Sherdog just to check Borshev's record. Because, I know, obviously, he's coming off the loss to Tom Nolan. And bloody Tom Nolan got him with the fucking decision. But no, Tom Nolan's mid as fuck. Tom Nolan I don't view as good. He got slept in the first by Nicholas Motta. I don't think Tom Nolan's all that. And Tom Nolan beat Borshev pretty comfortably. And I picked Borshev as a trying to be crafty, I'll pick Borshev here. But at this point, the guy's 8-5. And I'm just I thought you were decent. And now you're just showing me absolutely nothing. Because he's lost 2 out of his last 3. His win was a split decision over James Lontop. He also has losses. His losses aren't terrible. His losses are Tom Nolan, Chase Hooper, Mike Davis, Mike Chikasi. But to me, and the draw to Sadakov's actually aged well. But to me, it's you win over Mahashate, you beat Dakota Bush. The Chris Duncan win has aged well, but that was before Chris Duncan. I don't know if Chris Duncan's actually good. But Terence McKinney, let's look at his wins. Because apart from the... and you can MMA math it and say, oh, you got finished by Sadakov. Sadakov took Borshev to a decision. I don't like Borshev's chin. This man got dropped by Chase Hooper in the first. I just think he's susceptible to damage. And I look at McKinney and I'm like, okay, Hadzovic, I think's a guy who would lose to Borshev but wouldn't get blown out of the water. Brendan Moritz and Mike Breeden are probably guys that would lose to Borshev, but I could see them hanging in there. But it's I don't see Esteban Ribovic losing to Borshev. I don't see Nazim Sadakov in a rematch losing to Borshev. I don't see Ismail Bonfim losing to Borshev even. Dober, I think, would beat Borshev. So, and he beat Forrest Yam. He's beat Forrest Yam and he beat Fravola. He has those random ass wins where you're dude, this guy's a problem. But ultimately, I think he's going to be a bit overwhelming, a bit too much for Borshev early, who just kind of takes damage and doesn't take it very well. He's not a guy with an iron chin. He got dropped and beaten up by Sadakov. He got in the second where I think that ended up being a 10-8, I believe it was. Maybe it was the third, I forget. But yeah, he got dropped to a fucking Chase Hooper. And also McKinney has grappling. So I could see a McKinney takedown and sub game. I could see a McKinney ground and pounds. But McKinney round one's the play for me. I just don't think Borshev's at that level or at that stage of his career to where he's really going to grit down and survive a first and bounce back. And he's not even a guy that displays crazy good cardio. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Next up, we got Tracy Cortez, Viviane Araujo. We got the Goon fight of the card. Obviously, Cortez, not the most beautiful woman in the face, but she's got cake for days. We can respect that. She's alright though. She's solid. Wouldn't take many drinks. Probably wouldn't take any drinks because Cortez solid, but again, WMMA standards. Just it's an ultimate hack in women's MMA is be a moderately attractive person by like general societal standards. Like be a 6 or 7 out of like normal standards, and you'll be like a 9 or 10 in the UFC. Like Mackenzie Dern looks like a horse, and people find her hot just because she's got cake. But anyway, that's about all I've got for you in terms of the breakdown. No, but if you're looking for a breakdown here, you can probably go elsewhere, to be honest. I don't think anyone's trying to fucking get an in-depth technical breakdown of Araujo versus Cortez. If you want one, I could tell you that Cortez has a pretty dominant, clear win over Jasmine Jasudavicius, which has aged well. And Viviane Araujo is 38 years of age. So, also, Cortez didn't look awful against Rose. Rose is good. I think Rose would beat Araujo pretty comfortably. Araujo's 13-6. Like, she's just gatekeeper status. Again, I could see an Araujo win here. So, there is like a vibe of like a take the crafty vet, underdog, women's 38-year-old fighter to win. Because age doesn't seem to really matter in women's MMA. They kind of just randomly win fights. But, like, she's been finished by she got finished by someone. Okay, that's just a record. Most of her losses by decision. Most of Cortez's wins by decision. Obviously, they're women. That's going to check out. Karine Silva win is decent, but is Karine Silva that good? Again, why am I doing a breakdown of these two's records? She beat Jennifer Meyer. Like, fucking congratulations, you know. But, like, the rebounds. Karine Silva's, like, decent, and I thought she was, like, somewhat of a prospect, but she'd only really beaten Ariane Lipski and fucking Myra Morose and Ketlin Souza. Like, so was she good? Probably not. And yeah, the Jasudavicius win has aged better and better by the day for Cortez, because she made Cortez go, so she made Jasmine go 2 from 10 on takedowns, kept it on the feet, and it was actually crazy to think that apart from that Rose loss, she hadn't lost since her first MMA fight. Splitty decision over Blanchfield, which was apparently a robbery from what I've heard on the regionals. And split decision with Justine Kish. I don't know who that is. But it's just the Jasudavicius win is all I have to go off here, really. She's a favourite. Again, I'm just going to assume Araujo's not going to be coming in here looking phenomenal. She's 38. So Cortez, I'll back her. We see it with the likes of Tabitha Ricci and Mackenzie Dern. We see these cake-related robbery decisions where the judges are seeing a whole lot of jiggle physics and they give that fighter the rounds because, you know, that clinching against the fence looking real enticing. So I'll pick Araujo by decision. Cortez by decision. Let's move on to the next fight. Next up, Hyder Emil Jose Delgado. Hey, let me talk about this kid, Jose Delgado. Kid's a fucking savage. This is like what I wanted to be my crafty underdog call of the card, because I saw this fight announced. I'm like, Delgado's going to win this shit, and he's probably going to be an underdog just because Emil's undefeated and he beat William Gomes. But I thought he lost to William Gomes. I thought that shit was a robbery. And he marauded forward and did a whole lot of swinging and not a whole lot of landing. Like, I'm going to pull up that fight. This fight's actually interesting, so expect me to yap for like 5 minutes. I don't know if Hyder Emil's good still. Like, I don't know if I rate his wins. Like, do I rate Jin Yong Lee just blitzkrieg TKO with about a 30-punch combination that didn't even drop him? I don't rate that. Do I rate a round 2 finish over fucking Fernie Garcia? No. Do I rate even a split win over William Gomes, where Gomes backs up the entire time, throws literally as minimal offense as he can possibly get away with? And even on the contender says, kid got taken down 5 times. Decision with this fucking random Emrah Somnes dude or whatever. Fernie Garcia, like, is that a good win? No, and it took you to the second, and it took like a lot of shots to drop him even. Jun Yong Lee, again, just blitzed him in a minute, but like, I don't know if Jun Yong Lee's good. The Gomes fight was like okay, you can kind of deal with someone at range, but that was just Gomes, who has literally like 0 power. Like, if you can have less than 0 power, Gomes has that. Because this guy cannot harm a fucking human. This dude's been taking literally his entire career to decision. Decision over Brito. Again, split, fighting the Maraudy style. So that is impressive to say, like, okay, Brito lost the decision, you won a decision. But Brito's kind of been proven to be a little bit mid. This dude, like, took Giannis Gamori to the 3rd round with a body kick TKO that was to the nuts. Francis Marshall split decision. John Owens majority. This man has not won a unanimous decision in his career. He's got a majority, a split, a round 3 TKO from a nut shot, and then 2 split decisions. William Gomis is the equivalent of about as little dominant that you can get as possible. And I thought he won. Anyway, why am I looking for fucking William Gomis? Jose Delgado is the guy I'm talking about here. I just think he's better than all the guys Emil's fought. I think he's got more power than all of them. And he's not going to just sit on the outside and let himself get backed up and out-damaged like William Gomis did. Because when Gomis threw output, he won the first round clearly. This kid's got power. He's knocked down both of his UFC/Contender Series guys. He finished Conor Matthews immediately. He got taken down twice. From memory, he got back up pretty clearly. And I think Conor Matthews literally was just trying to pure grapple the whole time. So I should have gone back and rewatched that fight. But just from memory, he looked pretty alright. And again, it was his debut. I think he'll do okay here. And again, I just don't know if Emil's good. Emil rushes forward like a tard and just chin maxes. And he's been fighting in the small cage his whole career. He hasn't fought in an arena yet. Now, Delgado hasn't either. But in terms of stylistically, Emil, who I've seen winning all his fights via marauding and you not having enough space to back up so he catches you against the fence. And again, I don't even think he beat Gomis, and Gomis literally tried to throw as physically little output as possible and still win. He's like, how many strikes can I throw this round? How little strikes can I throw and still win this round? And unfortunately for him, he threw about 3 strikes, not enough, because Emil edged a split decision. So I think Delgado's way more dangerous, more powerful. I think he's a cleaner, crisper, sharper striker than Emil. And again, Emil's just one of those guys. He's 34, 35 and he's undefeated. My brother, what are you doing as a middle-aged, undefeated prospect? You're in Mirzakhanov status, but I actually think Mirzakhanov's good and you're not. And they're quite similar fighters, to be honest, with that blitzy style. But it's like the Lerone Murphys. It's like, my brother in Christ, you're 37 years of age. You're 34, 35, and this is your 3rd UFC appearance. What are we doing here? Get a move on in your career. But I think Delgado wins. There is a chance that Emil can just be too much and maraud forward. And maybe he employs a heavy wrestling game, but I don't think that's something that is necessarily in his bag. He just took down Gomis, who was backing up the whole time, and Gomis seemed to get back up pretty quick. So, also Delgado's got aura, bro. Memento Mori tattooed on the chest. That means remember you will die in Latin. Because I don't speak Latin. I just know what that means from a fucking book or some shit that I watched or a show. Memento Mori means remember you will die. That's aura. So I'm picking the dude with the aura tattoo. I'm picking the dude with the finishing upside that all of Emil's fights and his opponents haven't had. So yeah, give me Delgado TKO. I think he'll put a stamp on it and those people that have just been a bit high on Emil is such a fun fighter. Yeah, okay, fun doesn't equate to actually being good. I view Delgado as a guy who can make the top 15, top 10, maybe even top 5 at some point. I don't view Emil in the same light. So, give me Delgado by TKO. Let's move on, though, to the next fight. Next up, you got Gregory Rodriguez. The United States have conducted an operation that has neutralized and exterminated Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda, to a permanent end. We got RoboCop, we got RoboBarma in versus Crafty Man Jack Hermansson showing up for his once every 2 years fight. Once every 1.5 years, he's back from his fucking vacation, back from his log cabin in Sweden. I don't know what this kid's been doing, working the overtime shifts at IKEA, I guess. It's what I was told. I don't know if he's from Sweden or Norway or Iceland. Who the fuck knows? He's not from Sweden, I know that actually, I'm retarded. He's from Norway or Iceland, it's one of those two. The flags look very similar. I want to say Norway. I'm pretty sure he's from Norway. Gunnar Nelson's from Iceland, and then he's from Norway. That's my guess. Anyway, Jack Hermansson, I just don't think he has the firepower to win, and in a non-5 round fight, I don't think he can win 2 of the 3 rounds here. Unless RoboCop just shows up with Michelle Pereira cardio and goes from the worst cardio performance ever against Fluffy Hernandez to being an even worse cardio performance and gassing out through less output, because I can at least excuse it and say he put a whole lot of output out there against fucking Cannonier, actually had him dropped and wobbled, with his, like, Joe Pyfer didn't really have, like, Hermansson on skates. So I think RoboCop can hurt him worse, and I also think RoboCop's better grappler, as in I think he'll be less easy to grapple if Hermansson's trying to take him down or get some, like, control time or just kind of smush him up against the fence a little bit. I don't think RoboCop's a guy who you can just kind of hold up against the fence and just knee the thigh off. Like, he'll be digging underhooks, he'll be breaking off. And again, 3 rounds, I think he finishes him. I think this will be an early TKO for RoboCop. I just don't think Hermansson's going to look the best coming back after so long. And maybe he's just incapable of having ring rust, but, like, I think this is going to be a case of, like, yeah, dude, the fuck were you expecting? You're fighting once every 2.5 years. Like, you haven't fought since 2023, bro. Or, like, the start of 2024. Like, what do you expect? Now, yeah, the Pyfer win aged well. I don't even think he looked that good in that fight. I don't think Pyfer looked that good. I just think he was just, he has fundamentals and Pyfer doesn't. And Pyfer just can't deal with a jab and a 1-2. I think RoboCop is decent. The win over Park's aging well. The comeback win over Cheaty's aging well with how Cheaty's looking at welterweight. The Cannonier win is not... So the Cannonier loss is not that bad of a look in my opinion, given that he did almost finish him. And if that fight's 3 rounds... Did he win the second? I forget. But the first was a 10-8 because he dropped him like 3 times. So that's like a majority / draw / like decision for him in a 3-rounder. And that's against Cannonier, who actually has power, who actually can swing the tide, and who has a better chin than Hermansson to me. So Hermansson, I just don't think he's got the firepower here. As I said, he's outgunned. And I would love to pick a Jack Hermansson, crafty, you know, just edges out a split decision type of performance and he then takes another fucking year off. But we'll see what happens. I just don't think he's got the stuff here for RoboCop. Let's move on though to the main card. Main card. Felipe Lima. Let me tell you about this kid. He's fighting Peyton Talbot. Now, the thing to consider is Talbot's fighting in Pride Month. Last time he did that, on the last International Fight Week card he did KO Giannis Gamori in like 20 seconds. I do not view Felipe Lima anywhere close to the level of Giannis Gamori, meaning I view him much higher. I don't even think Felipe Lima is a worse fighter than Barcelos. I think if you gave Felipe Barcelos right now, he'd win. And to me, that's like, okay, you got 30-26 by this guy, and you're about to fight someone who I think's better, who I think has better submission threat, who I think has even better striking, honestly. I know Barcelos is crafty and he kind of beat Garbrandt. Garbrandt looked awful. Garbrandt fought with no cardio or no IQ past the first round. Dude was trying to clip Farmer KO. Like, you're not on TikTok, buddy. And I don't think Barcelos is good. He got KO'd in a fucking minute by like Umar. Or like, not in a minute, but like in the first or something round by Umar. And yeah, cool, you beat fucking Victor Henry and shit, or whoever you beat. I don't even know who this kid beat. You beat some random unks of the division, some random dudes, and you've crafted up a bit of a win streak. I'm not getting the fucking Umar KO loss out your head, and I'm not getting where people view Peyton Talbot as some deadly dangerous striker. Barcelos shot straight away, so fair play, didn't get the striking going at the start. He shot straight away, and he just got takedowns. So I'm like, and also this fight was booked on like 3 weeks' notice. So I don't think that Talbot's, obviously he's been working grappling just in general training, but like, is he going to have a full camp of just specifically preparing for a heavy onslaught of offensive grappling and submissions, which I think Lima will bring if he does choose to wrestle? I don't think he's going to be fully prepared for that, and I don't think that 6 months is enough to just turn you into a fucking elite defensive wrestler. Like, this dude is not going to come out here looking like Jose Aldo in the takedown defense. You know, he might grab the cage a few times. They'll probably let him get away with it. But I'm not envisioning a Peyton Talbot KO here. I think this is like a Simon type. They've done the same treatment with Simon. You got some cool finishes earlier. The new kid on the block. You're the young talented prospect. You take your loss. Like, Simon lost to Christian Rodriguez. You take that loss to that guy who's just a bit of a step up. He's able to sort of put it on you, survive your onslaught a little bit, and just kind of craft out a decision win. And then they can be like, oh yeah, fuck you, we're just giving you a prospect. Because this man, Cameron Simon, went from, oh yeah, you're a prospect, we'll build you up, here's C-Rod, lose, oh okay, well, we got a new prospect that we care about, I don't want to play with any more fucking Toy Story type shit, and now we're going to feed you to Talbot and you're going to get slept. Talbot, I think it's the same deal, and then after that you gave him another one. I think it's the same deal. The UFC, like, they have some prospects they're invested in, But I think at this point, they're not that reliant on stars. So they're like, we don't need Talbot in the sport. Like, we don't need him at the top of the division. And so they're like, okay, you lost to Barcelos. Hey, here's our new guy. Here's the new prospect, Felipe Lima, that people are high on. Deal with him. Like, if they were trying to rebuild Talbot, they would have given this man fucking Toshioni Kazama, bro. They would have given this man, like, the biggest bums on the roster. Like, all respect to him. I wouldn't say, like, I'm trying to think. They're giving this kid fucking Callan Loughran. Like, they're giving this dude some Angel Pacheco, some bum. But no, they just like, okay, well, sink or swim, motherfucker. Here's Lima. Probably gonna get subbed in the first round. Hey, good fucking luck. You're on your own. Like, this man's posting fucking BJJ tutorials with Frank Ocean. I don't know what this kid's doing. It just doesn't seem like he's a full-time fighter. He's managed to sort of connect himself to the community, you know, the rainbow people, and he's got his community there. You know, he's got his community of fucking homosexual lightskins that support their own. And now it's like, okay, cool, you're a fighter. I'm not acting like he's not training for martial arts, but he's built a brand already for himself with that niche of the community. You know, he's doing his fucking strip club bullshit. I don't know what he's doing his pole dancing. Who knows what the kid's up to. And he's got his connection with Frank Ocean. He's doing all this. And to me, I'm like, are you going to be a 100% dedicated fighter? Like, am I trusting you to be in the gym every day? Like, if you get a call from Frank Ocean saying, hey, come be in my music video, are you saying yes, or are you fucking doing your grappling training? You're probably doing the grappling training with Frank Ocean. Like, I just can't trust this dude to be dedicated to his career, whereas I know Lima training with Hamzat's coach, training in that gym, I believe, in Sweden, or wherever the fuck they are now, whatever, but I think he fights out of Sweden, I'm pretty sure. So I'm trusting him to be improving. I'm trusting him to actually be hungry in his career and be working towards something, not like, oh, I took a loss, maybe this ain't for me. I don't view Talbot as like that prospect who takes that loss and is like, bounce back, I'm never fucking losing again. Like, this is going to motivate me for the rest of my career to make sure I don't feel that again. I think he's just going to be like, hey, man, let me just fight. This dude's trying to be too nonchalant. Like, he's trying to clip farm too much. And I don't think he's just going to absolutely run over Lima on the feet. Even if they stand, like, this is my thing. I think Lima's grappling is a bigger factor in this fight than Talbot's striking. And likewise, I think that Talbot's grappling is worse than Lima's striking. Like, if you tell me this fight's pure striking, I'm like, Talbot probably edges out a close decision. You tell me this fight's pure grappling, like, these two spend 0 seconds in the stand-up. It's a grappling match. Lima's subbing him. So, like, that's my thing. I think Lima can kind of hold up in the stand-up. I don't think Talbot can hold up in the grappling. I don't think Talbot's scrambling with this guy. I don't think Talbot's taking him down. I don't think Talbot's surviving submission attempts. Barcelos had this dude ready to just give up on the ground. He just really wasn't going for submissions. He was throwing good ground and pound. Wasn't really looking for the sub. I think Lima, if he gets on top, if he gets the back, that submission threat's way more live than it was against Barcelos. So I can't trust Talbot here. I don't even think he's that good. I just think he beat up on Simon, who rushed in like a tard the whole time. He looked great in that fight, but people forget that was not his debut. I think all these casuals that wanted to act like they were on the Talbot train from the start were like, bro, he came in and look what he did against Simon. That was not his debut. He debuted the year before. He debuted in November on an Apex card. I believe it was the Paul Craig Brendan Allen card. That's ball knowledge right there. No one's pulling that out the bag. And he fought a kid by the name of Chad Anhaliger, I believe. He fought Nick Aguirre is the kid that he fought. Similar, I think they're both Canadian. And Nick Aguirre, I gotta separate those two names. This kid had his back in round one, and we're like, oh, this is a fucking, like, because he was a prospect coming off Contender Series. Let me pull up this kid, Nick Aguirre. I gotta relax with this one. This kid's name is Slick Nick. Like, this dude's not tough. And he fucking took down Talbot twice, and it took Talbot till the third round to get a finish where Aguirre was just gassed. Like, is this guy good? Is Talbot even good? Like, is his takedown defense good at all? Like, I don't know. Yeah, Aguirre went 2 from 10, but that's just Talbot being athletic. But, like, you got taken down in the first round, like, twice, and you got your back taken. I don't rate that. Like, Aguirre literally says here, Aguirre, 5 minutes, 46 seconds of ground control time. That's not a good look if fucking if N-word Aguirre is holding you down for that long. And having you in like, it got your back and shit. Like, cool, you fucking flipped out of a takedown, buddy. Like, You ain't need to be doing all that. Just like dig an underhook and get out. So I think people forget that his debut was not that impressive, and they just think he looked incredible against Simon, and who's just incredibly undersized at bantamweight. And then cool, you beat fucking Giannis Mori. Giannis Gamori got finished by William Gomez. That's how you know he's bad. If William Gomez is finishing you. Like, I think I can make the cards with William Gomez. Anyway, though, 8 minutes on this fight. I'm going to move on. Next up, Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. Now, at the time of recording, or before I even recorded, when the odds were out, it's like plus 120, plus 130 Beneil. Now, I've just checked, and it's like minus 105 each side, or minus 110 each side. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I thought I was going to be picking like a Crafty underdog here. Look, Crafty picking the vet of Beneil. Look at me, I'm picking the old head Beneil to win. But people seem to be along the same lines of realizing that this is not an explosive power puncher with finishing threat on the feet. And to me, that's like the way you got to beat Beneil, or just be genuinely way better than him everywhere. Like, I do think Islam would beat him because he's a better striker and a better grappler. But if you're not Arman randomly KOing him in a minute, and you're not Charles head kicking him in the fucking face, I don't think Moicano has like any fucking finishing threat on the feet. Like, I just don't look at Moicano and be like, yeah, bro, he might drop him and put him away. Like, Moicano looks so mid at stand-up against everyone he fights. I'm sorry, bro. Like, Islam looked a little bit tentative early just because he was probably trying to figure out what he was going to do with him. But, like, to be fair, he statistically outlanded Islam 9-6. But he got taken down straight away by Islam. That's not a good look. Because to me, that's like, if Beneil wants to wrestle, which he can, like, Beneil could have grappling success. And I don't think Renato is going to grapple Beneil. Because he has a, what's his takedown accuracy? 44% takedown accuracy. That's not terrible. But, like, you got one takedown against Benoit and just whooped his ass. But then in round 2, you looked mid on the feet. Jalen Turner knocked you down and even stuffed a few of your takedowns. But Jalen Turner's still a ragdollable little frail boy who's just ready to quit at the soonest sign of adversity. You took down Dober, who's a bit of a tanky guy, but Dober doesn't actually have the best takedown defense. You subbed Riddell. You lost to RDA, and I know it was short notice, but he got taken down 5 times to RDA and just schooled on the feet. And that's 2022, still not even remotely in his prime RDA. Like, post-2020 RDA, when he was just flip-flopping between welterweight and lightweight. Like, what? Let me think. How the fuck is RDA? RDA is 40? 94, 04, 14. RDA is 41 right... No, he's 40 years of age right now. And he would have been how old when the fight took place? It was 3 years ago. So he was still 37. You're not even versing a remotely decent version of RDA. And he boxed his fucking head off. I just think Beneil is a better striker, honestly. I think Beneil's a better striker, and I don't think he gets fucking KO'd in a minute. And he has an 80% takedown defense. Like, and a close to 60% striking accuracy, and I don't think Moicano is some really sharp striker. Now, maybe Moy kind of edges out a striking fight, but, like, you got... I'm not even going to look at the Oliveira ones. I'm looking at, like, the guys who I view as a similar style. The Gamrot fight, I can't look past. Yeah, Gamrot took him down 4 times. I think Gamrot's a better wrestler than Moicano. He beat Tony pretty comfortably in a kind of shitty decision, but that was not as washed, Tony. Beat Diego Ferreira, beat Scott Holtzman, beat Jakar Close, beat these guys. But it's the Gamrot fight, and maybe that's just this one-off where he came in and looked the best he's ever looked, and he's not going to do that again here. But I don't even think Moicano's like that incredible. And how old's Beneil? He is 35 or 30. He's 36. So it's not... But then Moicano's also 36, I'm pretty sure. Like, Moicano's been calling him old. Moicano's literally like 16 days older. I think Moicano's older. Is he? No, sorry. Moicano's like 16 days younger, or like 13 days younger. They're still the same age. And so, yeah, the layoff is a concern. Like, maybe Dariush just comes back and is just complete dog shit and just looks awful at stand-up and gets outstruck or is just way too tentative. But if he fights how he did even close against Gamrot, or even he was looking good against Oliveira before he got caught, Arman, whatever, you got caught in a minute flat. Moicano ain't KOing you in a minute, and I don't think Moicano takes him down. So I think this fight, if Beneil chooses to not shoot, then, which I don't think he would have too much success taking Moicano down. But if they stand, I just think Beneil's got a more crafty striking game. Now, maybe Moik kind of minorly outpoints him, but I don't know. I think Moik's hittable. He's droppable as well. He's not the most durable guy. And Beneil does still have pop, so I can see a real crafty Unk performance where even though they're the same age, it's like a old head still got it coming back after like a year and a half off. This dude's been out for longer than Hermansson. That's how you know it's crazy. He's been booked for fights. He's been looking, and again, it's not like he was injured and pulled out of the fight in January. He's just been preparing, and he probably kind of knew it was going to be Moicano. Moicano, how is his confidence going to be? Again, I was actually picking Moicano going into their fight at 311, but it's like, how's the confidence going to be after that Islam fight? Is he really going to like back himself here? Is he going to rebound? I don't know. Again, am I confident? Not particularly, but will I lean his way in a fight that I view as relatively 50-50, but I just don't see as Moicano being able to get the takedowns. I'm a pick Dariush to craft up a decision on the feed. Anyway, let's move on. Hey, let me tell you about this kid Joshua Van. He's a fucking savage. He's getting the win this weekend. He's going to be the #1 fucking ranked flyweight in the world. And he's going to fight Pantoja for the belt, let me tell you. Hey, Josh Van's winning, bro. I believe in Van. I believe in Josh Van. I think his output and his boxing combinations and his technical boxing and his work can get it done. I think his work rate is enough to get it done in a 3-rounder here. And unless he gets finished, I view this as a competitive. I don't think he's just going to get schooled on the feet. Like, to me, it's like a maybe Royval could catch him with like a knee or an elbow or something early and drop him and put him away. I don't think this is like a Charles Johnson 3rd round KO scenario. Van's in fight shape. Again, Royval also hasn't fought since when the kid fight? Fucking October was his last fight, so he's been out for a minute. He pulled out of the Cap fight originally with concussion when they were booked for that main event. And Van, since then, like, Van in the space since Royval lost to Pantoja. Let's just take that example, right? Royval has fought in that time frame since he's fought Brandon Moreno and he's fought Tatsuro Taira. Since that time frame, since December of 2023, the kid Joshua Van has fought in January 2024. He's fought in July 2024. He's fought in September 2024. He's fought in December 2024. He's fought in March 2025. He's fought in June 2025. And now he's about to fight again. I think he's just going to be improving. And I don't think Royval, I'm not saying he's going to be declining, but is Royval going to be like rapidly improving aspects of his game? No, he's just going to be the guy that just shows out there, throws a bunch of fucking snappy jabs and output. I don't think he's an aggressive finisher potential. I know Charles Johnson doesn't finish many fights, but like, I don't think he has that just like, fuck it, I'm going to just blitz you and kill you randomly and catch you with like an uppercut, like a Johnson. And he could. But I think Van's defense has shored up since then. I think that was a particularly dumb fight from Van where he fought dumb. He played into the crowd. It was like, I think it was actually like, it wasn't his first fight in front of a crowd, obviously, because he fought at 295, but it was like, it was the first kind of fight where there was a bit of buzz, I guess. Like, he kind of got into it a bit. Johnson, I think, had the home crowd from memory. Maybe not home crowd, but like, he kind of really just fired up and drew Van into a firefight, and he had the range advantage. He caught him on the end of a punch. Caught him with an uppercut. Cracked Van. And again, Van's chin is a concern. I don't think Royval's not like just putting guys down. His finishes are from like external limb, like not like punches. They're from like a knee against Mateus Nicolau. Or like a random, like Tatsuro Taira, he hurt him, but like Taira, he didn't drop him. And also Taira is not like to me, I think Taira's striking's fucking shit, and I think Van would box up Taira. Like, it's the same thing with why I was picking Van to beat Tagir, and after Tagir's fight against Azat Maxim, I was proved to be so correct, because Van was like a plus 200 underdog in that fight, and I was going to pick him. And then Tagir missed weight by 3 pounds and pulled out like a bitch. But Brandon Royval, who's he dropping with punches? Like, on his career knockdowns, again, he got the one knee, he got the knee, this guy got dropped by Matt Schnell, bro. He got dropped by Matt Schnell, and he had that kind of crazy exchange with Kai where he dropped him twice and he also got dropped. But like output wise, again with these striking fights, I thought Moreno looked mid as fuck, and across 5 Royval threw a bit more. It's not like it's Van's used to fighting 3. He starts really picking it up in the 3rd. It's not like this dude's got like a rounded cardio, he's gonna get drowned. Van's cardio is like one of his best aspects. Tyra basically threw fuck all. Moreno's able to land on him. Pantoja was able to land on him still pretty comfortably. Nicolau, again, the fight didn't last very long. Schnell was even cracking him a little bit. Like, split decision with Rogerio Bontorin. Like, I don't know what we're doing here. Okay, that was all. He just got taken down a bunch. But, like, even Van's takedowns ain't bad. So, to me, it's either a random kind of, like, what's his strike defense? 47% strike defense and a 39% strike accuracy. I don't think he's that good. 39% strike accuracy ain't all that. Like, what's Van's? If Van's is lower, I'm going to be very upset. Van's is 54, exactly. 54 accuracy, 59% defense, compared to Royval, 39% accuracy, 47% defense. Royval's hittable, and his long-rangey frame, we see it with an Usyk against a Kai, where he'll kind of back up, trying to use that long guard, trying to get away from you with just his natural frame and, like, build, to just be like, oh, you can't hit me because I'm sticking my arms out and I have a reach advantage. And it's like, well, no, because I can just get in close range and land my overhands, land my hooks. So, I think, I'm not saying, like, Van's KOing. This is not me being like, oh, Van's putting him out in the first, like Kai did to Usyk. I think this is a Van, UD, split decision, closest fight, 29-28, maybe we even get a 30-27 if he shows out very well. I just think Royval's hittable. And yeah, Van can be hittable, but I thought Van didn't look that bad against Charles Johnson, even while fighting dumb as fuck. Like, that was early on in his career, where, again, since then, he's fought a fucking total of 4 times. 4 times in the space since July 13th, 2024. So, literally like 11 months. He has fought another 4 times since then. So in the space from July onwards, it's been 5 times. And he's improving. He fought a long-rangey guy, Edgar Shires, similar build to both Johnson and Royval in his next fight. And that wins age well. Shires looks pretty good now. And he was able to outland him comfortably. Land takedowns on him too. And again, Shires is a dude who kind of has that little fluky throw up a submission threat as well. We saw him sub fucking Lacerda. I know he's a bum, but like, even the Cody Durden fight literally almost fucking tripled the guy on output. Ray Soria beat him up easily. That's not too impactful. And I know Bruno Silva's not the same build, but it's like, Bruno Silva's another guy who you're like, yeah, he's tough. He throws the kind of heavy boxing style. Again, doesn't have the range, so it's not as hard. But he put pace on him, landed 50 more significant strikes, and dropped him 3 times. So, I just think, and there were people that were picking, so to me, it's like, if you were picking Cap, there's no reason to me why you don't also pick Van. Because Van is a higher output striker than Cap. That's just a statistical fact. Like, he throws more shots than Cap. Cap's are kind of more on the outside, trying to find his moment, trying to clip farm a little bit. Van's just going to get in there and just get the output going. Is Royval like some incredibly fast starter? I don't think so. He has a kind of he's susceptible to sort of leaving some rounds up in the balance early. And he got cooking in the 3rd against Tyra, where he really was like, oh, I got to hustle a little bit, put it on. I don't think he's just going to have the ability to just land on Van when he's like, oh yeah, let me just turn it up now and just land on Van. So I think the people that are going, oh nah bro, Royval, it's too much for Van, he lost to Charles Johnson. It's like, you're not looking at his other fights, and you're not realizing, like, he's improving. Like, 23-year-olds improve in their game. I know that's a crazy fucking statement to make. 23-year-olds improve. Like, that's why if someone's, like, 32, yeah, you can take their fight, like, 3 fights ago when they were 30 and be like, oh, yeah, I can see some holes there. When a guy's 22, taking that loss like he was to Charles Johnson, now he's 23, you can't be like, oh yeah, bro, that's just Van's holes. Like, that's going to be his problem for the rest of his career. Like, he hasn't really shown it since. Yeah, there's the drop ability early, but he hasn't been dropped in a minute. He hasn't been dropped since the Shires fight, where, again, he got a bit crazy, just fought dumb. And I don't actually think Royval is as dangerous as Johnson or Shires with the hands. So, as long as Van doesn't dip in and get caught with a knee or some shit, if he keeps disciplined with his punches, keeps his guard up, and just gets the output going consistently, I think he can win an output-based decision, unanimous or split, depending on like what the judge's kind of view of like maybe Royval's stuff looks a bit snappy, a bit cleaner, but Van's just kind of constantly in your face landing output. So I'm taking Joshua Van, bro. I think he's gonna win. I think he's gonna surprise some people. Even though the odds are pretty close, there are those people, like the people picking Van are like me. The people picking Royval are like, nah, bro, it's too soon for Van. He's gonna get smoked. So yeah, I'm picking Josh Van. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Alejandro Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France. Kai Kara-France is getting fucking smoked. This is a fourth title defense for Pantoja. You know, after this one, I'm thinking we have that super fight with Josh Van, and then if we win that, we get that fifth defense. We declare ourselves as the flyweight GOAT and move up and beat Marab. No, so that is my unbiased breakdown of how Pantoja's career will go. Obviously, I do love Joshua Van. So that fight with Pantoja and Van's like picking between your mum and your daughter or some shit, bro. Like, it's a weird comparison, or your dad and your son. Like, it's like I can't pick between them, bro. I love them both in different ways, you know. No diddy. But no, Pantoja and Van would be like an even worse ultimatum than Volk and Lopez, because I like Van more than I like Lopez. But to be fair, I like Volk a little bit more than I like Pantoja, just because I've liked him for longer. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, as they say. But I think Pantoja beats Kai Kara-France. I just don't think Kai. Again, it's a similar sort of thing with like a Talbot Lima, where it's like I think Pantoja can do better in the striking than Kai can in the grappling. I don't think Pantoja Kai is going to be like, oh my god, this dude needs to get the takedowns to keep himself alive here. I don't think Kai's going to have this dude on skates on the feet and it's Pantoja desperately shooting for takedowns. Again, Kai, is he that good? Like, yeah, he's good, but is he that good? Like, I know the KO over Erceg. I just rewatched that fight. He's getting jabbed up a whole bunch. He was looking kind of mid. He was just spamming the same overhand combo, and then eventually it fucking worked. Like, do I rate it that highly? Do I rate you just overhands, just button mashing, spamming overhands, and then eventually Erceg just couldn't get out of the way? I don't know if I rate it that much. Now, he's good, yeah. Like, Kai's good. He's dangerous. He has power. But, like, can we not act like this dude is figgy? Like, can we stop acting like this dude's just figgy, just laying everyone out? Like, his finishes are over. Okay, Steve Erceg caught him. Good job. You finished Cody Garbrandt. Fucking congratulations. Do you want a medal? You finished old as fuck Rogerio Bontorino. How old was Bontorino at the time of the fight? Okay, he's not that old. But, like, you finished Bontorino, who's mid and who's been finished before, I think. Never mind. He hasn't been finished before. But Bontorino's mid is my point. He hasn't beat anyone good in his career. So you beat Bontorino. Congrats. You had a crazy fight with fucking Royval where you got dropped, where you both dropped each other, and then you got guillotined. So again, submission defense concerning. Could get subbed. Now the takedown defense 88% is a concerning factor, but to me that's not. I don't view it as that bad. In terms of, because his defense is very good. He's got a 65% striking defense and an 88% takedown defense. So I don't see Pantoja's offense being incredible in this fight. But I know Pantoja's defense is like a bit like, okay, bro, what do you like? Can you defend yourself? I just think his chin is just fine. Like, I'm sorry, dude, this dude's eating flying knees and elbows and shit. I'm like, he's not getting dropped by a spammy Kai Kara-France overhand. Like, he sub-drive Royval. UD over Tyson Nam. UD lost to Moreno back in the day. UD win, split win, UD wins. So it's like he just developed like his KOs are over Bontorino, Garbrandt, and Steve Erceg. So the Erceg one's the good one, and you can then do the MMA math bullshit of like, oh, but Erceg gave Pantoja a tough fight. Erceg's anti-grappling is really fucking good, which is not something that he had to worry about against Kai. Kai was just like, okay, on the feet, and then he just got caught. And also the striking frame of Erceg is something that's going to give Pantoja more trouble than Kai, who's not going to be some physically imposing dude, where it's like, yo, this dude's throwing a jab, and I'm like 2 meters away from him. Like, what's going on? So, I think Pantoja's chilling here. Like, I mean, again, there is danger. There is a KO threat, but I'm like, Am I looking at Kai Kara fucking France, who's like 22-11? No joke, it's 25-11 record. Am I looking at a 25-11 record thinking he's going to become the undisputed UFC champion? I'm not, bro. I'm not. I just think Pantoja's too good. He's evolving. He outstruck Kaya Sakura. I don't care what you say, that's still impressive. I know some people are like, oh, Kaya Sakura, who the fuck's that? Whatever, Ryzen dude. Kaya Sakura has a win over Manel Cap. They're 1-1. He has a win over Manel Cap. So, like, Kaya Sakura is a good striker, and Pantoja pretty much doubled him on significant strikes, took him down 3 times, and subbed him in the second. Took down Erceg 9 times. Erceg is a crazy good defensive grappler, and he still was able to take him down 9 times. Took down Royval 8 times. Took down Moreno 6 times. And again, these other guys that he's fighting have a typically good takedown defense rate. That's not the thing. Takedown accuracy about 50%. That's not bad because he shoots so much. 50% striking defense, 50% striking accuracy. He throws a lot of output, though, that's the thing. Even on the feet, I can see him kind of outdoing Kai for output at moments, of being like, yo, he's low-key outstriking Kai. And then Kai will probably keep him honest with a few big shots. But, like, look at the resumes of the two of them and just be like, okay, we're looking at fucking Cody Garbrandt, like Steve Erceg, you know, good wins. Again, even, like, finished by Moreno with that body kick. Kai's kicks Pantoja's kicks are looking a lot better, too. He's throwing a lot more body kicks. He actually, he landed good body kicks on Asakura as well, good low kicks, so I can see the kicks being a factor here. And yeah, it's like Asakura, Erceg, Royval, Moreno, Perez, Royval, Cap, Schnell, Wilson Hayes, Moreno, like, wins constantly, fighting the best of the best. Now, yes, he lost to Askov, different style matchup compared to Kai. Askov kind of just smudged him a little bit with the wrestling, and that was before Pantoja was good. That's when he went on the run. That was his last loss. Since then, it's been how many in a row? It's been like 7 in a row. Kai's lost before, and again, it's the El Bazi fight. Let me go back to Kai's record. El Bazi fight. Yes, he literally landed double the strikes of El Bazi, and actually did take him down twice. El Bazi had his back. Just saying, El Bazi had his back. If El Bazi had 6 minutes, 10 seconds of control time in that fight, that means ground control, not just, like, clinch control. I'm pretty sure that means, like, actual ground control. Because he had his back for, like, the whole third and got a submission attempt. He went 1 for 9 on takedowns, but that's my thing of, like, I don't think El Bazi's fucking good at all. And still, Kai only landed 34% of his strikes in that fight. Wasn't able to reverse. Got out the sub. El Bazi is not a submission grappler, dude. Amir El-Bumzi is not a fucking guy who's just ragdolling and subbing people. This is not a Hamzat Chimaev at flyweight. This is a kid whose other best win is unranked Alessandro Costa, and apart from that, he's beat Francisco Figueiredo, Zhalga Shumagulov, and Malcolm fucking Gordon. And then he randomly got Kai and won a robbery. But again, I can see Kai just having so many moments of just, again, prolonged grappling control. Even if a lot of it's smudging against the fence, he can take back some there. He doesn't necessarily need to, like, shoot a nice Olympic wrestling quality double leg and take you down, because that's Kai's good takedown defense. But what he's not the best at is defending other, like, jiu-jitsu, not so much wrestling, but jiu-jitsu positions when they kind of tie up in the clinch, when they tie up against the fence. He's susceptible to getting his back taken, and Pantoja is, in my books, the best back taker in the sport. Oliveira's been in that conversation. There's other guys. Pantoja's scrambles and back-taking ability, to me, is the best I see in any division. Not submission threat, not like an Islam or Hamza, not a best wrestler. He's the best scrambler and back-taker in the UFC, to my book. We saw it against Moreno, where, again, Moreno looked like he was kind of pulling away with it a bit, and then Pantoja's like, nah, fuck you, I'm just gritting down, and I'm just gonna fight you. And I'm just gonna do what I need to do, and maybe I'll smudge you for a bit. And he was able to just shoot on Moreno, not get the initial takedown, and then manage to kind of flick his leg out and then just get him and get his back control, and just hold on to that back. And Moreno, I think, is a better defensive grappler than Kai Kara France. Statistically, I don't even know if that's even defensible, but, like, he had a crazy fight, back and forth output, dropped Moreno. Kai didn't do that. Kai didn't drop Moreno. And again, 8 minutes 26 of control time in that fight. Like, he's just able to find positions and get control time. 6 of 11 takedowns. Moreno's a gritty dude. Moreno's a guy who will scramble. Look at the exchanges with Figgy. He sweeps him and all that shit. He's just not... I don't think Kai is going to be able to hold up for 5 rounds in the grappling, to be honest. I think Pantoja will either catch him in a sub at some point in the second or third, or he will just control, heavy top pressure his way to a decision, and you ain't seen Kai Kara-France deal with the grappling of Pantoja like he did El Bazi. That's my books. That's my read. Anyway, Pantoja and still. Let's move on, though. I'll be very upset if he loses. Let's move on, though, to the main event. Toptoro versus Oliveira. Mate, this fucking Charles Oliveira kid is a fucking special talent, let me tell you. But I do think Ilya is just a bit too much on the feet. I think his power is going to be a problem for Charles, who is a little bit chinny, if I'm being honest. And I think that Ilya could catch him with a left hook or right hook in the pocket at the end of the second, start of the third, and I think he will put him away in vicious, brutal fashion. I don't know what that was, but hopefully it was decent. I'll listen to that back after recording and judge whether I want to put it in video or not. I'll leave it in anyway, who cares? You guys can enjoy my shit impressions. But I slapped a louse of him, yeah? Toptoro. I don't know, I just love doing shit Conor impressions. It's fun. But I'm picking Ilya. I love Charles. I want him to win. It would be such a cool moment for him to get the belt back. But again, objectively, it is... I think Anarchy did a video on it. It is objectively way better for the UFC if Ilya wins. It opens up the Paddy fight. Where, like, yeah, you can do Oliveira Paddy, but, like, it gives you that option. It gives you super fight options. It just, like, it's like a new, fun, fresh challenge where it's like, if Oliveira wins the belt back, as much as I love him, he's lost to Islam and Arman already. With if Ilya wins, it's like undefeated guy, double champ now. Who's beating him? Who's going to stop him? So it probably is better for the UFC if Ilya wins, but it would just be so cool to see Oliveira lay this dude out cold, or just tap him, just mog him in the grappling and tap him. That would be very enjoyable, but I just think Ilya's striking is too good, and I think Oliveira's defense is just not good enough. I don't even need to check records for this. Like, I can just tell you, like, you'll hear the same thing from everyone. Oliveira's way bigger. He could muscle Ilya around a bit. He could have some success in the grappling. He took down Chandler. We haven't really seen Oliveira's like offensive wrestling look that crazy in any of his fights, apart from the Chandler fight. Like, we got D1 Oliveira against Chandler, but we've also just seen Paddy go out there and just toss around Chandler too. So it's like, Chandler's defensive wrestling is just shite, is what we're seeing. And Oliveira kind of mogged him a little bit, walked him back the whole time, but fought relatively safely in that fight, apart from getting literally cheated in the fifth and then back of the head shot at almost TKO'd, which would have actually pissed me off if Chandler had won that shit, and then he just tries to clip farm at the end and backflip a bunch to save himself and give himself a post-fight speech and call out Conor, despite getting 50-45 basically. But I just don't think Charles can stand with Ilya, and it's like, I think Ilya is solid and compact enough to not just get ragdolled in the grappling. And he is a strong dude, and we, like, yes, Bryce took him down, and that's the thing everyone will use. But I don't think this dude's just getting tossed around. And even if Oliveira takes him down, which I just don't think he will, like, maybe I could see him getting him down, like, once with, like, some trip in the clinch or some shit. But, like, I think Ilya's, like, too good on it's just, he's too good on the feet. Like, I do think Charles can present him problems. And I was contemplating, not because I think the fight's very close, because now I am putting Ilya as a lock. I just think he's going to win. But it's like, I was kind of contemplating a fuck it we ball and just vibes pick with Charles. Because, like, how likely is it that Ilya just goes up and wins the second belt by KO? Like, is he just Conor? Like, at that point, is he just Prime McGregor? But better, because he is better than Conor. So it's like, I don't know what we do with this guy. But, no, I just have to be logical. I'll look dumb as fuck. If Charles wins and I pick Ilya, like pretty much everyone, it'll be like, cool, I'll blend in with the crowd, you know, I'll fence it. I'll just be like, I told you Charles could have a chance. Like, obviously, Bedtime will do that as well, and Guru's going to do that as well, and people are going to do it. I think Lucas is the one who's, like, really on the side of, like, Oliveira has no fucking chance. So, yeah, you know, I'll fence it this one. I'll be like, you know, Oliveira, he could catch him, you know, Jai Herbert dropped him with a head kick. And an Oliveira head kick KO would be scenes that I would very much love, but I just don't think, as I've said it 12 times, like, they're going to strike, and he's going to get caught with a hook. And I don't think I've seen anything to believe that Ilya is not going to be powerful at lightweight. Like, this dude beheaded Jai Herbert with a hook in the pocket. And Oliveira is a similar sort of lankier frame. Hands can come down at times. Susceptible to getting cracked over the top. Got rocked and dropped by Islam. Got rocked at the start of the fight. Got dropped in the second. Armin was outboxing him. Poirier dropped him. Gaethje's dropped him. And it's like, I know, I'm not worried so much about like, oh my god, his chin's dust. He's going to get dropped by a fucking jab. But it's just like, can I trust him? It's not like, oh, his chin's dust, but it's like, he's so open to get... It's not the fact that he's getting dropped, it's the fact that he's getting hit that much clean to the point where he is able to get knocked down. Like, I don't think Oliveira getting dropped and floored in all a bunch of fights is like him being chinny. I think that's just his defense is shite and he's getting hit by powerful punches. And Ilya is potentially the most powerful of the lot. Now, maybe there is a small chance that Oliveira just takes the shots, but I just don't think so. Like, I've seen no reason to believe that Ilya is a less powerful guy than a Poirier or a Gaethje or a like precision power puncher. I haven't seen anything to say like, oh bro, what do you mean? Oliveira took shots from Poirier, he'll be fine with Ilya. Like, Ilya to me is a more dangerous puncher because he's more accurate, because he's crisper, because he's got more torque on these shots. He's just loading shit, he's just loading it up and just cracking you. So I don't love it for Charles, dude. I just think the vibes I got, there was a brief Oliveira vibes moment where I'm like, yo, low-key Ilya might just get fucking majorly humbled at 55. And he still could, but I gotta just go Ilya. I gotta go Ilya. If Oliveira out-wrestles him for moments of this fight and then Ilya wins, I'll just be like, I'll probably be picking like an Armin to beat him with wrestling, but with this power, it's difficult for me to pick against him. I would have picked Islam to beat him because I just think Islam's grappling's too good and he would be actually too physically imposing. But nah, bro, I just can't see Charles ragdolling him in the grappling, and I don't see him catching him on the feet, to be honest. Like, Ilya's going to look way shorter, so there is a size difference factor. He's dealt with it before. It's not like he's used to fighting. It's not like he's only ever fought midgets and this is the first fighter he's going to be shorter than. Like, we've seen him deal with it. He fought Holloway. Holloway's a similar sort of frame to Charles. So, maybe less physical, less strong, less wide in the back. But no, I got Ilya winning. I think he's just going to catch Charles second or third. I don't think Charles goes out cold, though. I think this will be a swarm sort of TKO. Maybe we get a complaint like a Mark Goddard early stoppage because he's the ref. I could very much see bro, that was early, bro. He was still in there type of stoppage, even if he gets like dropped and then like a Sadikov Motta type sequence, but the shots are landing cleaner from Ilya, and it's like he's about to go down. Oh, you stopped it. Why did you stop it? You should have let him go down. Type something like that. Anyway, though, that will do it. Recapping the card real quick, let's take a double check look at my picks. I do think there's going to be quite a lot of finishes on this card. Now, me saying that probably means we're about to run a fucking Baku masterclass and go like 10 from 12 on decisions. But like, I'm picking Ilya by finish. I think there's a decent chance Pantoja gets a finish. Royval Van, I don't think it'll be a finish, but I think it's going to be fun as hell. I don't think Dariush will get a finish. I can see Lima getting a sub, or even if he does get torched on the feet, like, I think that's a finish there in that fight. Good potential for a round one finish for Robocop. Good potential for a finish in Delgado or Emil. Obviously Cortez, good potential for a finish, but not from either of the fighters. That was clean. And that was a nasty line by me, as Charles Sutton would say. But what else? McKinney, very high potential for a finish. McVie, Dumas, they're both shit, so probably a good potential for a finish. Denise Hines, they're both shit heavyweights, so again, finish potential. And Jacoby Smith's probably going to kill Nico Price. So I think there's good finish potential on all these cards. Again, those are my method of victory exactors on screen. The UFC predictions channel guy emailed us all. He told us he's implementing a method of victory tracker thing as well. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully we do well in that aspect. And yeah, I'll probably stream the card. If not, if I do end up watching with friends, I'll definitely sort of record my reaction to the top 3 fights of the card, so I can see. So if something big happens, I'll definitely get that out there. Anyway though, goodbye. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know your picks in the comments. Plus hour long video for you today. So yeah, have a good one. See you later, boys.